Professor Hanneman. How unexpected.
Hello, Miss Dorothea. There is something I would like to ask you, should you have a moment.
And whatever would that be, Professor?
It's just some rumor I heard about your prejudice against the nobility. You remember when you came to me before, and we talked about how I used to be noble? I was just wondering what your aim was.
To clarify, I only hate nobles who are obsessed with their status. You're not that kind of man, Professor. I mean that, really. And it sounds like you never were.
I see. But hating nobles obsessed with their status, you must have had some terrible experience in the past. My apologies. That was rather presumptuous.
No, it's fine. As I'm sure you know, I was a highly praised songstress for a time. Before I was a singer, though, I was an orphan. And before that, I was the daughter of a noble's maid.
My goodness! From an orphan to a renowned songstress. That is quite a life you have led, Miss Dorothea.
Well, I don't remember much of my early years. My father was never there, and my mother was driven out of the noble house where she worked. Before long, she fell ill. I was always alone, and I lived in the alleys of the imperial capital, just trying to survive from one day to the next.
I see.
Eventually, after I became a singer, I met the nobleman that I think is my father.
Oh.
He'd had a child with a maid, but the child didn't have a crest. So he threw them both away. Those were his very words. I can't prove that he really was my father, but I suppose it doesn't matter. He didn't know who I was. And when he flirted with me, my feelings were something beyond fury. I was dumbfounded. In truth, I felt that way about all of the nobles who flocked around me, yet would just as easily have tossed me away should it better suit them.
You have my most heartfelt of apologies, Dorothea. I am afraid my curiosity has opened old wounds. Sadly, it is undeniable that the nobility is full of such terrible people. Perhaps even myself.
Professor?
Oh, it is nothing. Just lost in a memory of my own. Just know that I will do my part to ensure that you always know kindness in this world.
Thank you.
Thank you for volunteering to clean this room, Miss Annette. Most appreciated.
Don't worry about it. It's the least I can do to repay you for all you've taught me. It seems like a small payment, honestly. I wish I could do more.
In that case, I have nothing to worry about. Do make sure you get the bookshelf as well. Be thorough.
The bookshelf? But it's not even dusty.
Dirt always lurks in the places you can't see. Best of luck on your hunt.
Oh, okay. Leave it to me. Oh, there are a lot of rare books here.
Miss Annette, please stop jumping on the stool. You'll tumble down and crack your skull.
Huh? Whoa!
Miss Annette, are you all right? Can you stand?
Yes, I'm fine. Sorry.
What a blessing. Neither the books nor yourself came to any harm. Here, I'll help you clear them up. Oh, my. The inside of this bookshelf is quite filthy.
So dirt was lurking in the places we couldn't see, just like you said.
And we found it thanks to all the books falling. Every cloud has a dusty lining.
This dirt is really bothersome.
Agreed. Shall we endeavor to get rid of it together?
You can count on me.
Steady. Don't go leaping about in your enthusiasm.
Professor Hanneman, is this a good spot for this book?
That will do nicely, Lysithea. I'm sorry to trouble you with these chores.
It's no trouble. After all, it's proper etiquette for the young to help the elderly.
The elderly? I'm only... Never mind. How have you been feeling of late? Anything worth mentioning?
I've been feeling well enough, all things considered.
You seem to be maturing remarkably. No doubt your well-being is due to the positive influence of your twin crests working in tandem.
Here he goes with the positive again. Looks like your research is more useless than I thought.
I may ignore your assaults on my age, but I will not allow unfettered attacks upon my research. What makes you think it's lacking? Surely you do not deny that your crest-related abilities exceed those of your peers. You are so far ahead of the others. Even the combined effects of the twin crests you bear do not fully account for that discrepancy.
You just can't see beyond the crest, can you? In all your research, haven't you considered that my abilities are a direct result of the effort I put in?
Of course, I am aware that you are a hardworking student, but...
My efforts far exceed those of any other student. I've placed top priority on growing as quickly as possible.
Is the ability to expend such incredible efforts, to be so focused and driven, is that not a form of talent?
It has nothing to do with talent. It's a question of sheer will. I'm determined to succeed, no matter the sacrifice.
I see, but what drives you to such lengths?
I have goals, just like anyone, and precious little time in which to achieve them.
Little time?
The people who made me as I am informed me that my life would be drastically shortened as a result. A person bearing two crests against the will of nature itself. Well, clearly it can't be sustainable. As such, I don't indulge in the luxury of fantasizing about the future. I haven't got one. Knowing all this now, will you still claim that my crests are something positive?
I cannot. Please understand, I had no idea.
I'll be leaving now.
Lysithea, so that is why you were...
Professor Henneman, you wanted to speak with me?
Miss Marianne, hello. Do pardon the mess. Please have a seat.
Of course.
I have been puzzling over why your father would wish to conceal your crest. And I have arrived at a conclusion. Would you like to hear it?
No, I would rather not.
Ah, fair enough. Then I will keep it to myself. However, if my theory is correct, well, then it is only natural for you and your father to try keeping your crest a secret. That said, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't point out that I consider this decision a most grievous error.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Crests never manifest in someone unfit to bear them. Which means, Miss Marianne, you have the ability to make the most of your crest, because it is, by definition, your crest.
I have no desire to make use of my crest.
But it can be of service to you, and I would venture to suggest, to the world at large.
Ever since I was born, that crest has been nothing but a burden to me. My parents, too.
Ah, that's right. I have heard that you were adopted. Did one of your birth parents also have that crest?
Yes. It was my father.
Then that crest is evidence that you are your true father's daughter. Concealing it, hiding that truth from the world, is denying your true parentage, is it not? I'm not suggesting you flaunt your crest. That would be highly unnecessary, possibly even dangerous. I simply wish you to accept who you are.
Accept it?
Accept the crest and allow its power to come forward. then it will open itself to you. Whatever the crest may be, whatever its origin or its nature, it can serve you. It is yours to command, however you wish.
Mine?
Nobody can decide how to use your crest, Miss Marianne. That choice is yours alone.
I will think about that.
Manuela, I would like to apologize. The other day, I said some things to you that I am, well, not proud of in the least.
Oh no, Hanneman. It is I who should be apologizing. I behaved in just the most dreadful manner. I was just lashing out at everything. You were right to call me out. Really, and I do very much mean this. I'm so sorry for my behavior.
No, please, pay it no mind. Actually, I'm thankful for what you said during our conflict.
Thankful?
Yes, you made me realize that I have a somewhat meddlesome nature. Thanks to you, I believe I've found an area in which I can improve myself.
I could say the same thing, you know. Your accusations, they really hit home. After I cooled down, I realized you were right. I really ought to try and keep my emotions a bit more under control.
Well, that's good to hear. It seems this wasn't a fruitless clash for either of us.
Oh, indeed. There's nothing more depressing than a pointless fight, is there? Don't you wonder, though, just how many times we've had this same argument?
We do always seem to be at one another's throats before we even realize it. I don't know how we manage to keep it up.
You're not wrong. Something the matter, Hanneman?
Well, it's just, you don't smile like that very often. But when you do, it is quite charming. Perhaps your struggles in love are due to your reliance on false affection instead of your more natural charms.
Well, thank you for the compliment. Even if you did have to spoil it with criticism. If you weren't so judgmental all the time, maybe you'd have had more luck in romance yourself.
What? Manuela, as your friend, I was only trying to give you a useful bit of advice.
And that so-called advice is exactly why I call you meddlesome and overbearing. And
There it
there's
is.
Hanneman, who
Manuela
said he was going
begins to
stop being
protest
so
even when she
meddlesome.
knows the fault lies with herself.
Professor, a pleasure to see you. I've never been very good at praying. I was here to confess my foolishness. While I'm at it, may I confess something to you too? I realize what a burden I've been. On you, I mean. After every breakup, I neglect my work, and I know how that affects you. I'm completely worthless as a woman. Can you imagine how that feels? Oh, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. I just know it. You think so too, don't you? I'd rather you disagree, even if you don't mean it. Lie to a woman when she's down and out, yeah? What's wrong with me? It's not my looks. I'm still gorgeous. Or am I? Be honest, do I look old? No, not possible. I'm the songstress who swept the empire off its feet. Men professed their love for me hourly. It can't be my looks. You're right. Although, just fine is a bit... Well, it's better to be attractive than just fine. Oh no. If the problem isn't my looks, and they are not the problem, then it must be... what? My personality? I know you're trying to find a way to say it gently, but you think there's a problem, don't you? I suppose I can be a bit unkempt. I do have a short temper, and I may be a little lazy, sometimes. But I've always heard fellas, like a woman with a few flaws. Seems to me there are plenty of flawed girls who have landed themselves a good man. So maybe my trouble is I'm not imperfect enough. Do you think I could use a few more flaws? Are you saying I'm perfect as I am? Come now, you'll make me blush. Let's see. Has to be here somewhere.
Oh, my princess! Pray tell, are you seeking a book?
Ferdinand, you should probably settle down a little with the princess talk. Just speak to me normally. My princess days are long gone.
I could not disagree more. To me, you will always be that dazzling songstress, that veritable princess of the opera. From ages 5 to 11, I never missed a single one of your performances. Seeing you on stage was like glimpsing heaven. I was overcome with bliss.
You're going a little overboard, and I think I may have something in my eye.
An elegant coalescence of beautiful song and frenetic swordplay. That was the most memorable aspect for me. On stage, weapon in hand, letting your ballads soar to the heavens. Honestly, the first time I held a sword, it was not to train. I was trying to do your sword dance.
I inspired your love of weaponry? How flattering.
Correct. It is all thanks to you.
Oh, come now. Although I'm honored if my stage presence had any such influence on your life.
The honor is all mine. You blessed me by returning to my life. No matter where I go, or who I end up marrying, my childhood memory of you is inscribed in the deepest depths of my heart. Is something the matter?
Oh, nothing. I just feel a little empty inside now. My head is pounding. You'd think I'd get used to this. Oh.
Manuela? Oh my goodness, you look terrible. Don't get up, I'll get you some water. I should fluff up those pillows for you. It will make you more comfortable.
I'm completely hopeless. I was so proud of being the reason you came to Garreg Mach. Dorothea wanted to follow in my footsteps. How great is that? I thought I'd use that as an inspiration to straighten myself out. Be less of a, less of a disgrace. But here I am, right in front of you, dealing with the worst hangover I've had in weeks.
You thought you'd hide this from me?
Wait, you mean you knew?
Even when you were still with the opera company, you had quite the reputation. There was a joke that you could outdrink a fish and the sailor who caught it.
Dorothea, my brain's pounding as it is. Please, stop. It's all true. But I can't handle hearing it from you, the girl I thought I had inspired to greatness. I can't believe I tried so hard to be a good example for you when you knew all along. I should leap into the ocean and drown.
Don't say that. You've not lost a bit of respect from me. Not one bit. Everyone has their faults, and some have more than others, but you are the finest songstress the opera had ever seen. And you've taught me well. What I mean to say is, you're my inspiration. I really do admire you.
Thank you, Dorothea. That means a lot. I must admit that Sylvain is quite handsome. And it doesn't hurt that he's heir to a noble family. I could get used to that kind of life. The age difference bothers me a bit, but I'm sure it would be fine after a few years. At first, it was hard to imagine myself with him, but now that I've thought about it, maybe... Speak of the devil. I think that's him over there.
What a jerk. He was playing around with me that whole time.
You know, you're a good catch. It's a shame that you've had no luck with men. You need a guy like me, somebody who sees your beauty and appreciates how tender you are, emotionally, and how much love you have to give.
What? No way. What are you saying? Can't even tell if you're being honest.
Do I look dishonest? Are these the eyes of a guy who's just playing around?
No, I suppose not. Would you like to go somewhere a little more quiet?
As long as it's just the two of us, and the only subject is love, I'll follow you anywhere.
Okay, that was just repulsive. He is insincerity personified. No way I'd ever fall for that. He is handsome and does come from good stock. But no, I can't imagine we'd have a bright future together. I suppose the goddess does not give with both hands, does she? Wait, could that mean because of my looks and my singing voice that I'll never find true love? Please, goddess, I'm begging you.
Is that Professor Manuela? Her voice is every bit as fine as you might expect from the former leader of the Mittelfranc troupe. Oh, if it weren't for her drinking and her woefully inadequate manners, she would fit right in with high society. Wait a minute.
As my mind clings to desperate thoughts, here it comes, Horsebow, moon, and summer's end.
That's my... Oh, no. No, no, no!
Oh, Lawrence! I heard you shout. Are you okay?
The poem! My poem! Forget it, I said! I asked you for one thing!
And I told you it would be impossible for me to forget.
Certainly, I understand. But setting it to music, and now singing it?
Oh, yes. It makes for a beautiful song, doesn't it? I'm feeling so lonely and blue. My dearest has left. He has gone far away, and I'm here, all alone. And in my sadness, your poem, well, it became a song for me to sing. It brought me a moment of happiness.
I do not know who spurned you, but I assure you my poem has nothing to do with any such feelings. It is getting late. We should both turn in. I will take my leave now.
Oh, I understand. You're leaving me too. Why? Am I too old to matter?
No, I never said any such thing. Why, I am sure there are plenty of men who would prefer a mature woman such as yourself.
Mature, he says. I knew it. You're all the same, you know. No one sees the person behind the voice. They just see me older today than yesterday. They say, "Oh, look what happened to her." Nobody sees my frustration, my resignation to be forever alone. But you do. It's all right there in your poem.
Please, I assure you, my poem was not about that at all. It was actually about the ideal of nobility. The sentiment is that someday I know I will get what I want. There is no resignation in it, as you seem to be suggesting.
Lawrence. I was sure the poem was more about someone lamenting their frailty and the loneliness of time's passing. But that's not it at all, is it? This is the story of someone impatient to get ahead, who is afraid they'll never make it.
The speaker in the poem does lament his shortcomings. The road to reach his ideal is long. It is a trial, a test. If he can just find his way through it, he knows he can move forward. So I think you should try to move forward too. Because with a voice as talented as yours, how could you possibly fail?
Lawrence, someday you should let me sing this song in public. I think people who are battling through their own trials, they might find comfort in this. And I believe I'm the only one who can do your work justice.
Very well. You have my assent. On the condition that you do not attach my name to it. Now, permit me to retire for the night. I require ample rest to maintain an adequate level of polish, you know. I suppose, if my poem must be set to music, then it had best be done by such a talented singer.
I wonder why. Why does Lady Rhea give you special treatment? You're not particularly strong or good-looking. You seem exceedingly unremarkable. Not that I doubt you were a skilled mercenary. Shamir came from the same background, but she doesn't get nearly as much of Lady Rhea's attention. Besides, it'd be one thing if you got brought on as a knight, but a professorship, unprecedented. I just don't get it. I'm flummoxed as to why she holds you in such high esteem. And it's not like just anyone can wield the Sword of the Creator. It's a legendary relic, right? And it was casually handed over to you. It's unbelievable. Maybe it's because you're related to Geralt. He was a leader of the Knights of Seiros, and probably the finest mercenary in all Fodlan. I only had a brief chance to work with him, but I've heard stories. He was quite strong, right? Oh, come on. There can't be a soul in Fodlan who hasn't heard tales of the Bladebreaker. Maybe that's it. Geralt used his influence to help you. But Lady Rhea wouldn't give you favorable treatment because of that. No, definitely not. There must be something more to you. Okay, that settles it. I'm going to watch from afar. Figure out what Lady Rhea could possibly see in you. Whatever it is, maybe I can copy it so that you'll take a shine to me as well. And if I discover that your intentions are malicious, I'll cut you down with relish.
Aha! Found ya! You're always nosing around places, aren't you, Professor? Can be real hard to find you sometimes. No worrying about it. I just wanted to talk to you about a thing today. Do you remember how Lady Rhea asked you to come to the office this evening? Well, she told me that I should come to let you know that today's a bad day for doing that, and you should go and see her tomorrow instead. That's pretty much everything I needed to say, I think. Oh, except to ask you if you've seen Seteth around anywhere. Okay, I'm supposed to tell Seteth the thing Lady Rhea told me to tell you, but he's hard to find. No, it's alright, thanks. But if you see him, then please find me and tell me where you saw him, okay? Because then I'll know where he is and I can tell him. I'll be in the stables if you need me. Gotta put out the fodder before it's the next kid's shift. Don't want her thinking I left my work for her to do. Oh, but if I'm not in the stables and you need to find me, I'll be at the forest up north, because there's a bunch of logs lying around up there. I figure I ought to chop them up, or else someone might trip on a log, or we might run out of firewood. And if I chop, then it'll save other people time. If it looks like I'm done there, then the quarters need to be swept. So if you see Seteth and you need to find me, then I might be there. Nope, this is my job. I'm not giving it to anyone else because it's mine and I'm gonna do it. Besides, if you help me out, Lady Rhea might give me an earful. I don't know why, but Lady Rhea sure does seem to like you. She's always worried about what you might be doing or not doing. Oh yeah, not that it's any of my business. Anyways, Lady Rhea asked me to do some jobs, so I'm doing them all. Even some she didn't ask for, but I know need doing, so I'm doing them. End of story. And remember, if you see Seteth around, come find me and tell me where you saw him, yeah? Huh? But I just told you where I'd be. If I'm not in the stables, I'll be at the forest. If I'm not, oh, I see. You're right, I'm all over the place, huh? I don't want to waste your time, Professor, so if you see Sedith, how about you tell him I was looking for him, and then tell him all the places I'll be? Then he can spend his time looking for me instead of you. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. A real good plan. Let's do that. See you later, Professor.
There's a lot of dust there. It looks like nobody's cleaned it in ages. No, I just can't leave it. It must be cleaned. Oh, can't quite reach. Just a little further. If only I was taller.
Miss Annette, if you carry on like that, I dare say the bookshelf shall give out in a few moments' time.
Professor Hanneman! Thank you so much. There is just so much dust up there.
I understand. I had noticed it myself, actually, and was just on my way to get a cloth for it. How about you leave this part to me?
Okay, thank you.
No need to thank me. I must admit I'm rather impressed by your keen dust-spotting eye.
I just couldn't rest easy thinking that we hadn't finished cleaning in here.
I'm quite the same. How anyone can abide dust, even hidden dust, well, I can't grasp the idea.
You and I are like two peas in a pod. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bit rude of me.
We do seem to be similar in a number of ways, yes? So I have a spot of advice for you, if you don't mind.
Yes?
Next time you identify a dusty patch in an inaccessible location, please send for me.
That's very kind, but I wouldn't want to bother someone as busy as you.
Nonsense. I'm keen to avoid a repeat performance of the tragedy of Miss Annette and the books.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry about that. Right. Next time, I'll definitely call for you.
Indeed. I would never forgive myself if you managed to pull a whole bookcase over on yourself.
I promise that won't happen. Most likely.
Ah, there you are. I apologize for calling you in so suddenly. Please, sit. There is a matter I would like to discuss with you. I believe I've told you this before, but it is my responsibility to aid the Archbishop in all her duties. Spiritual instruction, ceremony oversight, donation management, all of the Church's many administrative tasks. I oversee not only the priesthood, but also the Knights of Seiros and the Officers' Academy. The Archbishop entrusts a great deal to my discretion, and I am honored by her confidence. Even when she must make decisions herself, she often seeks my counsel in advance. And yet, your appointment to a teaching position at the Officers' Academy was a complete surprise to me. Not only that, but you have also been entrusted with the Sword of the Creator. I was as surprised as anyone else to learn that. Frankly, I am just not sure how to handle you. I am the Archbishop's right hand, and yet when it comes to you, I have been told almost nothing. Not quite. I do find you to be a trustworthy individual, but my subjective opinion is not enough. I have a duty to be cautious. Should the Archbishop's trust in you prove to be misplaced, it is the faithful who will suffer most. First, I would like to know just how much you know about yourself. You are the child of Geralt Eisner, correct? That's quite a vague reply for such a basic question. In the future, I would advise you to answer such queries with confidence. As the former captain of the Knights of Seiros, Geralt was renowned throughout Fodlan. If you really are his child, then no one would voice any complaint about you joining the Knights. How long has it been since you became a mercenary? Given your youth, that hardly seems likely. Come to think of it, I have never asked your age. Just how old are you exactly? Your face says it all. You truly don't know, do you? Just what was Gerald thinking, raising you this way? Given your responses thus far, I feel as though any further questions would just be a waste of our time. However, permit me to make one thing clear. Whatever her reasons, the Archbishop has placed great faith in you. Do not betray that trust. That is all.
Keeping it clean, sweeping it clean. No more trash, nowhere, no how. Oh darn, there's trash over there. Hey, Professor! The cathedral's a real important place for the Church of Seros, so I always make sure it's all sparkling clean. The monks do some cleaning too, and they tell me not to bother, and sometimes they even say to go away, but they just don't clean as good as I do. I don't stop until everything shines. Nah, not really. And Lady Rhea told me it's okay if I don't show an interest unless I feel like it. And I haven't so far, but I just want to take good care of the things she cares about. If there's a thing she wants taken care of, then I'll do it better than anyone else. What do you think? You'd go the extra mile for Lady Rhea, wouldn't you? Maybe you don't realize how great a person Lady Rhea is. She's always praying hard as she can for her followers all across Fodlan. She does it every single day. And even though she's always so busy, she tries to listen to as many people's needs as she can. When she's seen the kids who lost their parents in Remire Village, she didn't leave them there. She got the church to take those kids in, same as me. She's so kind. She's almost like a mom to all her followers, and just everybody that I can think of loves her. Hang on, you trying to say you know more about Lady Rhea than I do? Okay, maybe she likes you more than she likes me. But I know that I know a whole lot more about her than you do. I know these things, okay? So don't go talking down to me like you know better. Huh? Well, just as long as we're all clear on that.